We all love a good story. Who can resist a swashbuckling tale of long-lost treasure or an epic adventure in faraway lands? But did you know, where children's development is concerned, bedtime stories are more than just good fun or a comforting ritual.
My name is Emma.
And I'm Nikki.
We're researchers at the University of Oxford, investigating the relationship between stories and language development in children.
The language of storybooks is actually very different to the language we use in everyday conversation. And I'm not just talking about rotsome snozcumbers. Try it yourself, this foulsome snozcumber. We analysed 150 children's picture books and found that stories, even those aimed at very young children, contained a wider range of words than parents and caregivers typically use when they talk to children.
It's disgusterous, the BFG gurgled. It's sickable. It's rotsome. It's maggot-wise.
Words in books tend to be more abstract, more sophisticated and more emotional than those used in speech. And books also contain rarer and more complex sentence structures. Once upon a bicycle, so they say, a jolly postman came one day from over the hills and far away with a letter for the 3 bears. These features of book language mean that reading books to children provides them with opportunities to experience words and grammar that they don't often encounter in everyday conversation, even before they can read themselves.
So it seems that exposure to rich language through storybooks could have a positive impact on children's language development. But how does learning happen? Well, the sleep that happens after the bedtime story might be important. We presented groups of children with new words in the morning or in the evening, and then tested their memory for them 12 hours later. The children who learned in the evening, and therefore had a night to sleep before the test, were better at remembering the words than those who learned in the morning and didn't sleep before the test. What's more, that memory boost held across the following day, showing it's not just the case that children are more alert after they've had a night's rest. Rather, sleep is doing something important to store those new words in memory.
So, the conclusion? Even from an early age, storybooks provide children with language that they don't often encounter in everyday conversation.
Reading these stories at bedtime provides an ideal opportunity to learn words ahead of important memory processes overnight.